Hello everyone, Lily the Deck Harlot here. Welcome to my channel, and for those returning viewers, welcome back. And today I thought I would do a video on the decks I've used in April. As in other parts of the US and Canada, here in Eastern Ontario, we're still in stay-at-home orders. I'm filming this the first week of May, and I think we're at week number 7, if not 8. And although there are talks by our premier that businesses will start opening up soon, we're not exactly sure how that's going to go. So anyway, at least it gave me time to do tarot readings and study decks and stuff like that. So anyway, so I'll start with that. The first deck I used in April was the Mythic Tarot. I do not have the box anymore, like it's been long gone, but it's still a good reader. Like, I know I've had this deck for more than, well, it's probably close to 30 years by now, and you know, the images are on point. You know, it's a Rider-Waite. It's based on the Rider-Waite system, and it's a very good reader. And even though, you know, I've had this deck for a long time, it's not one that I've used, so it's still in excellent shape. And the next deck that I used is this one here, which is the World Spirit Tarot. Now, that I worked actually quite a lot with this deck. It's a deck I got in a trade, and I can't say that I like the art, but it turned out to be such a great reader. And like I said, you know, the art is a little bit all over the place, I find. The themes are, you know, there's a lot of diversity, but it's, like I said, I find it's a lot all over the place. But I had fantastic readings from it. And for some reason, this is one of the cards I was getting a lot. And I'll show you my favorite card in the deck, though. And the death card for me always makes or breaks a deck for me. And look at this death card. I find it's very powerful, with actually showing a funeral and the soul of the woman on the pyre rising up as a phoenix. So that's, you know, that card touched me a lot. So that is the World Spirit. And then I was actually drawn to using some of my smaller decks this month as well. Often for my weekly reading, I like to combine 2 decks. So the next one that I'll be talking about is the Centennial version of the Smith-Waite Tarot. And in the tin, it's smaller than a regular size. And it's, you know, this is one of my go-to decks. If I'm going to be reading with other people, I always use Rider-Waite. And, you know, I like the coloration out of this one. And it always gives good readings. So, you know, we're all familiar with those images. So that is the Centennial Rider-Waite. Another deck I took out is the Aquarian deck. And it's another classic. And having said that, I'm not sure how I feel about the art of this one now. And it's going into my maybe pile. The readings I was getting from it were okay. But, you know, everybody in this deck is so pasty white that it, you know, it's a bit of a turn off for me. So that's the Aquarian deck. Last but not least of the tarot decks I used is this one here, which is called the Zerner-Farber deck. There's the back of the box, and it's actually a small size version of the Enchanted Tarot. And just for comparison size, regular size, and this is this deck here. And as much as I like the art, this deck is actually quite pippish. And I think I'm going to look at it again this month, because the readings I was getting from this one weren't that great. Mainly, for some reason, I was getting a lot of swords. And all the swords cards, except for the number of swords in the card, they all look the same to me. And I couldn't quite get much out of the images themselves. Like, you know, the 5 and 7 of swords, you know, they basically look the same. And like, there's a lot of detail in the backgrounds, but not enough to give me an intuitive hit on what the card means, or that relates to the card meaning. So here's one of those swords cards. And anyway, for some reason I ended up looking online for, you know, what this deck, if this deck is still available. And as it turns out, it's OOP. It's out of print. And actually, you know, it's starting to fetch quite a few dollars. So I don't know. I might, that's why I want to look at it again and see if, you know, if it's going to be a keeper or not. And one deck that I did not use very much in my readings, but that I've been studying, is the Spirit Keepers. And this is the second edition, which is the Vitruvian edition. And I've been using Benabel's workbook. So I'm on week 5. And man, those, you know, those cards, she put a lot of details in those cards. And although she says that you can read it out of the box, I guess you can. But reading either the medium white book or the book of maps, there are so many details and cross references to different systems that it's, you know, it's actually mind-blowing. And but the thing is reading those texts, I find, helps a lot in helping you figure out what the card means in your reading. And I like this version actually better than the first one, just because I find the images are less harsh. For some reason, this sepia tone softened it a little bit. So that is the Spirit Keepers Tarot. And the last deck is an oracle deck, and it was the Connected and Free. And I was getting good readings out of this one as well. Although the guidebook, why would someone write a guidebook and not put the cards in alphabetical order? So if you need to look up what the creator meant by the card or what she wrote down, is you have to hunt for the card itself, because like I said, it's not an alphabetical order, and whenever I have access to another printer, I'll be making myself a table of contents, which of course isn't part of the book either. But it's quite easy to read these cards intuitively as well. So here's the card for fun. And I think those are all my decks that I use in April. So I hope you enjoyed it, and feel free to leave me a comment below. So until next time, I'll bid you a good day.